About a year ago, 11 Alive launched a powerful new initiative called More Than a Number. Its purpose is to transform the way we at 11 Alive honor victims, support their families, and preserve the legacies of those lost to violent crime. As we reflect back on the last year, we want to reintroduce you to how this initiative started and some of the stories that we've already told. It all began with one man who found the strength to turn his pain into purpose in the face of unimaginable tragedy.
You've got a family who's grieving, who's probably going through the worst day of their life. The last thing they may want to do right now is talk. There was a lack of empathy and a lack of compassion for what I had gone through.
Each victim is more than a number.
What are your hopes for this program, More Than a Number?
I just hope that folks use it. It's a powerful tool to make sure that your voice is heard and you can give a face to your loved one. They do become more than a statistic.
More than a number.
They are more than a number. My pain is enormous, don't get me wrong, but it brings some comfort to a situation that it's very rare to find comfort. This is him in all his glory, out cooking for his friends. He loved to cook.
In Macon, Georgia, Justin Baxley's dad was number 27.
That pain doesn't end. It's a constant.
Justin is the digital content manager at our sister station WMAZ in Macon.
I really enjoy just helping people.
In 2017, his father, 53-year-old Michael Baxley, was gunned down in his home during a robbery.
The house was entered forcibly. It's a gruesome crime scene. It's gruesome.
A Bibb County Sheriff's captain broke the news.
She said, "Justin, we found your dad dead." And my life changed in that moment.
He says he was bombarded with calls from local reporters.
Within 2 hours of me finding out, I'd received 5 phone calls asking for interviews. And I would say, "I'm not ready yet." And they'd call back an hour later, "Are you ready now?"
And you wouldn't believe what he had to go through next. While still grieving the horrific murder of his father, he had to go to his house and clean up that gruesome crime scene.
Unless I had $1,200, we weren't going to get somebody out there to clean it.
He's been through so much, and to turn that around into a positive is just amazing.
That pain became his purpose.
We've got 61 so far.
To honor his dad, he launched the More Than a Number website in Macon. It honors lives lost to violent crime,
I didn't know there is crime scene sanitation.
supports their loved ones with resources, and works with law enforcement to build a safer, more compassionate community.
The project is an opportunity to change some things in the way that we cover tragedies.
Family and friends can share stories, photos, and memories of their loved ones here.
Growing up, he'd have like a Mustang or something, so it was always fun to go out with Dad.
I would think that this has not been easy for you.
I'll never forget the first workshop I did. The minute that the camera cut off from me, I was in tears.
Justin even holds workshops for news organizations emphasizing the victim over the story.
It's some of the hardest things I've ever had to do is get in front of my peers and basically tell them like, "Hey, we're doing this the wrong way. We should try something else."
With your dad, his legacy is living on, and not just in your life, but in the stories of others.
My dad is no longer number 27. He's not just a victim.
A 2022 domestic violence situation in Ellenwood left 7 children witness the unthinkable as police say someone gunned down their mother in their own home. Asia, Jakayla, and Jasmine.
And it just has everybody in that one as well, or some of us, yeah.
Remember the good times with her mom and 9 other siblings.
And this is everybody.
45-year-old Alicia Penniman was adored by her children.
She was very thoughtful. She was loved by everybody. She was a hard worker.
A good provider.
She always made sure we didn't go without.
But Jakayla and Asia say in December of 2022, while in their quiet Ellenwood neighborhood, the sounds of gunshots changed everything.
Like this whole time I just kept telling myself, like, this can't be real, this can't be real.
It's just been a lot, just mentally and emotionally, trying to stay strong.
Police say Alicia's husband, 57-year-old Johnny Alston, shot his wife in both legs during a domestic violence incident, while Jakayla and her siblings, ranging from elementary to teenage years, listened and watched in horror. These are some of the last words Jakayla would hear from her mom.
My mom, she tells me, she's like, call the police, call the police. She's like, close the door and call the police.
Jacayla called 911. It says the dispatcher told her to immediately protect the children.
And she's like, okay, get all your siblings and go in the garage, get as far away as possible.
Jasmine was working remotely that day at her home miles away.
And I received a call from my siblings. They all were screaming in the phone, crying, saying, John shot mama. She's outside bleeding.
Jasmine drove up and couldn't believe what she saw. Before being rushed to the hospital, her mom lost a lot of blood.
It wasn't looking good once she made it to the hospital.
Alicia didn't make it. Clayton County Police issued a warrant for Johnny. He was arrested days later, facing several charges, including malice, murder, and cruelty to children.
I had no choice but to keep calm and be strong for everybody.
Jasmine, the oldest and rock of the family, now shares custody of the children with her other older siblings.
Before all this went down, what did you see within that relationship?
He was very quiet. We weren't really close at all. He honestly didn't even feel like a stepdad to us.
Did you see any signs of abuse?
Not any abuse. So I know for sure there was no abuse going on.
But Jasmine says one incident could have allegedly sparked Johnny's rage when Alicia threatened to leave him.
Now, one thing she did say was a few days before, she was just tired. She was tired of her marriage and just having to deal with the things that came with him. And she wanted out of it.
As Alicia's children are left to process the trauma of that December morning, Jasmine has this message to her stepdad.
They went from a two-parent household to now they don't have any parents. They're being raised by their siblings now. So it's like, this is what you did. This is what you did.
A little more than 2 years ago, Tiffany Smith got the worst call of her life. Her 15-year-old son, Cameron Jackson, shot and killed near Atlantic Station. She shared her story online, and it united mothers all across our state who felt alone in their pain.
Alexandria the Fearless. Somewhere in Alex's spirit, I'm sure that she thought that she was a dolphin because she would run to bodies of water even though she couldn't swim.
Cameron was an all-American kid. Cameron would blow up the kitchen with his science projects that he would learn on TikTok. Cameron loved boxing. He was very athletic. He was just like an amazing kid.
This is Navera Onique Case Foreman. She was 11 years old. We called her Nene. Very good with her hands. Anything you give her, she'll assemble it. Just all around a precious, helpful child. I don't feel like she was just another statistic of a rare cancer. Angel Moms makes me feel like she's more than that, and she matters.
I realized that there really wasn't a space for moms who had lost their children. So I was trying to figure out, okay, so what do we call ourselves? And they're murdered children, survivors, and one day, I was like, I want something that's empowering. And we do have angels, so we're moms of angels.
Emotionally, how has this organization benefited you?
I was distraught for those 2 months that she was able to fight. She just went completely down. I was devastated. She was terminal from the start. In our community, we're taught to just pretty much suck it up, and be strong and move on. Navera meant everything to me. She was my best friend, and being in the Angel Moms Collective with Tiffany, girl, you better cry. Even though all of our children passed away, a lot of our children passed away in different ways, but we all share the same emotions.
I met Tiffany 2 days after my daughter's passing, and being able to have a conversation with someone that I knew, not just someone giving me a pat on the back saying that I'd be okay, but literally talking to someone that I knew exactly what I felt.
Tell us what happened in your situation.
Alexandria is my 20-year-old daughter. She was 20 at the time of her passing. Christmas morning, she went for a walk to the corner store, and she was hit by a driver and didn't make it. I felt like her life didn't matter. And it wasn't until I got with this collective, this sisterhood, that I was able to find other women whose hearts beat like mine.
When you lose your child, a part of you dies. This collective gives Cameron's mom, Nevera's mom, Alexandria's mom a place to be without our children, such that the world knows that they were more than just a number.
Imagine losing a loved one and not knowing what happened to them for decades. No answers, no closure. In tonight's More Than a Number, we're going to pull back the curtain on a groundbreaking effort that's finally bringing peace to families haunted by uncertainty.
He was a 4-year-old child that was found off of Clifton Springs Road in 1999. He was skeletal when he was found.
Kyle McGlamory is one of the deputy chief investigators at the DeKalb County Medical Examiner's Office.
He was abandoned, and we had gone through countless things to try to find out who he was, because we put posters out, nobody came forward.
Until finally someone did. Through relentless investigative work and DNA testing, the child was finally given back his name, William Deshaun Hamilton. The evidence leading to his mother's conviction, the case inspired a county-wide collaboration.
Because we had, I think, 27 people here in our morgue that were unidentified.
In 2022, that task force was formed with the help of a $500,000 federal grant.
And in that task force, we have members from GBI, the DA's office, our office, the DeKalb Police Department.
Together, shedding new light and hope on these cold cases.
If you give us what we need, we will do the work.
The task force solving a brutal crime.
In this case, solve and make the arrest of Kenneth Perry that went unsolved for 30 years.
Police rushed to a Stone Mountain apartment complex and discovered a horrific scene. And the case went cold until now.
I am proud to say have secured justice for John and Pamela Sumter.
Thanks to advances in DNA technology, investigators identified 55-year-old Kenneth Perry of Loganville as the killer.
Doing that work just made it clear that we had to continue doing more.
Even in death, people will be treated with dignity because each person is more than just a number.
We are going to do what it takes to seek justice in these decades old cases.
This month, a family will mark 8 years since the death of a mother found with a gunshot wound to the head. But after all of these years, they still don't have an official answer for how she died. I sat down and spoke with Heather Turner's family as they pray that this is the year their questions are finally answered.
I can't express how much she meant to me. It's like describing how big is the world. How can you put that into words?
Heather Turner's aunt, Cindy Clark, says she shared a special bond with her niece.
We were very close. I was like a second mom to her. She was like a daughter to me.
And even loved beyond her family.
It was incredible how so many people loved Heather, and she fit into every person in every situation. What a loss.
Cindy says her heart broke the morning of May 4th, 2017 in Dallas, Georgia, when Heather's husband broke the news.
I said, "Is Heather okay?" He said, "Heather killed herself. She shot herself." And I said, "No, what?"
Investigators say Heather was found dead on the bathroom floor from a gunshot to the head.
It's still undetermined as to whether this is a homicide or a suicide.
Paulding County Sheriff Ashley Henson says 8 years later, they may be close to an answer.
And we want a resolution just as bad as they want a resolution.
He says they recently created a cold case unit of former FBI agents to get new eyes on the case, and no one is in the clear.
Everybody's considered, possibly involved. And so we don't want to rule out anything or anybody.
Henson says one of the biggest challenges is fighting through the noise of social media misinformation.
Any concern about contamination of evidence or anything like that?
I think there's, you know, any degradation of the scene as a result of these family members. We don't have any evidence to believe that that's the case.
The wall that was allegedly washed down after the officers got there, any credence to that at all?
It just wasn't. The wall was not wiped down. We've got evidence-based facts to show that it was not wiped down.
So suicide or homicide?
Our goal is to have a resolution before summer.
I just really want the truth, whatever that may be.
As investigators comb through clues, Cindy's message to Heather and Heather's daughter left behind.
I love you, Sugar Bug. And I'm going to get this message to your daughter that you did not abandon her.
The mission of our More Than a Number series is to allow families to honor their loved ones while also sharing resources for those grieving through a tragedy. And you can find those resources online tonight. Just search More Than a Number on 11alive.com. We'll see you next time.